Hi, good people everywhere. Michelle Kasky, your laughter coach, here for our Thursday laughter yoga stuff. I should turn off my telephones. As some of you know, I am also a busy real estate agent here in the Seattle area. And sometimes these phones, while we're doing laughter yoga, start ping, 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 and you can imagine, kind of attract my attention a little bit. So we'll get those turned off, get ourselves some water, and get raring to go here in a few minutes as we let this classroom fill up with people. It is important when you think about doing laughter yoga to stay hydrated, because that is one of the things that we hear from people during a laughter class is that their mouth gets dry. And this is because as we're laughing, we are taking in so much air. And we don't really think about this in our regular life, how we kind of breathe rather subtly. And as we breathe in a subtle way, through our nose, through our mouth, just very gently, like this, trying to demonstrate the gentle breathing here. I'm not doing a very good job of it. Anyway, in our regular life, when we breathe rather gently, and here, let me demonstrate breathing gently. I don't know why that even seemed funny this morning. But as we breathe gently, the air is mixed with the moisture in our mouth and the moisture in our nasal canal. And so the breath doesn't feel as drying to our mouth, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you know how when, like, if you were outside on just a regular day where there wasn't much breeze, you wouldn't really notice that the air moving around you drying out your skin. But if you've ever been outside on a really windy day, you know how dry your skin can feel afterwards when you've come inside. You can really notice that wind has moved the moisture out of your skin. Same thing is kind of true with the laughter yoga, where when we're just breathing gently, we don't really notice that air is drying, that the breath is drying. But with the laughter yoga, we are often taking in a lot of air. It doesn't look like that either. Did you see me? Just take a big, huge gulp of air. And so that can be a little bit drying to the mouth and sometimes drying to the throat. And it's not always comfortable. Of course, this is one of the benefits of doing laughter yoga at home alone, and especially the way we've been doing laughter yoga together here on this platform. It's really easy to have, a water bottle or a glass of water nearby and to just take a sip of water and keep your mouth refreshed. So that's a perfect segue into just a story about the breath, because in many, many ways, laughter yoga is really a breath exercise. And let me tell you why. So when we laugh, and you'll see us practicing this, when we laugh, one of the things we're really doing is using our diaphragm to really push air out of the lungs. And so some of our laughter exercises are that laugh until you run out of air. That okay, now did you see me just take a breath of air there? So we're using that vibration of the diaphragm to kind of push against our lungs. And we get a much deeper exhale this way when we are laughing, the exhale, versus if we just. So if you could practice that with me, we could just inhale, we could exhale all the way. And then I guarantee we could laugh a little bit more of that air, even though it feels like our lungs are empty. So we could just practice that. Inhale. hold it, and then exhale. And inhale. Okay. Did you notice all that extra air that was in my lungs, even after I just exhaled naturally and deeply? And that was a fairly deep exhale when I did it. But then there is all of this residual air in the lower lobes of the lungs. And the vibration and the activity of the diaphragm against that lower lobes of the lungs when we're laughing pushes out this residual and oftentimes stale air. Oh, and it's one of the reasons we feel so refreshed after we've been laughing. And Dr. Kataria, of course, my laughter yoga guru in India, who I have studied with, tells a story about one of his clients or somebody that came to one of his laughter classes who had been a heavy smoker but hadn't smoked for a number of years. So he had smoked for a long time, but then not for 10 years maybe had he smoked. And when he came to the laughter yoga, and they were doing these laughter yoga, just pretty much just your average standard everyday laughter yoga exercises, this man, he's like, "Can you smell the cigarettes on my breath? I can taste cigarettes in my mouth." And sure enough, you could smell the cigarettes on his breath, even though he hadn't smoked in 10 years. All that residual air in the lower lobes of his lungs had been in there all of that time. And he was really having a cleansing effect of the lower lobes of his lungs. So this is one of the reasons why our mouth gets dry, because we're taking in, well, what we're taking in that much air, which is the other part of that story, is that when you empty your lungs, they will naturally fill. So we think that if we're trying to refresh ourselves with breath, oftentimes people think, well, let's start with an inhale. Let's breathe deep as a way to get refreshed with breath. But the opposite is actually true. The lungs will naturally fill to the degree that they have been emptied. And so when we're trying to refresh ourselves with breath, we really need to empty our lungs thoroughly. And that is one of the things that laughter yoga is wonderful for. Now, there's other breath techniques. And I always like Kanabati breathing. I'm not saying it right. Okay. And here you might notice this morning, just I've fallen right into this. In a regular life, we are just looking for opportunities to laugh for no reason. Okay, so that kind of body breathing, I might even be close to what that's called, but just finding an opportunity to let myself laugh out loud a little bit is what laughter yoga is about. So that is a good example of just taking a little opportunity to just have a really good cleansing laugh, just with a very little stimulus. But okay, so that deep, some of these breathing exercises, the one I'm thinking of in particular is when you do these sharp, kind of forceful exhales. And I think it's supposed to be through the nose. Talk about drying to the nose, where you just go, and you're really pulling your abdomen, your tummy muscles in to create that exhale. That's another form of breath exercises that is designed to empty the lungs. And of course, you're emptying them rather forcefully with an exhale. But when everything that's emptied, when it comes to the lungs, immediately gets filled with fresh air. Okay, so that's the kind of important thing to know. So a lot of these laughter exercises we're going to do today and always are really designed to thoroughly empty the lungs. And so we want to think about that as we're doing our laughter exercises. You'll see me doing it where it's like we'll laugh really, really deeply and thoroughly until our lungs are getting empty. And the reason for that is so that they can naturally fill. Since laughter yoga, I mean, there's so many different benefits, but this inhalation, this ability to take in fresh air, this ability to empty the lower lobes of the lungs of stale air is one of the primary benefits. And like I said, one of the reasons that we feel so refreshed after we've been laughing. And refreshed is a really good word for it. If you've done any laughter yoga with me before, refreshed is a very good word, because oftentimes what people describe is that they feel both relaxed and kind of invigorated at the same time. And so, yes, refreshed is a good word to describe those two characteristics at the same time. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. I always show up for you here on Thursday mornings just kind of as I am, and I am trying to figure out where we should start today, but I'm glad we've had a little talk about breath. As you know, I always like to talk a little bit about how laughter affects the body, because we are really trying here to dismantle this notion that that our laughter and things being funny in the world are so reliant on each other. And what I want us all to really come to understand is that the laughter itself has some magic in the body. And there's all sorts of things that we accept and do just because it makes our body feel well. I mean, I'm doing the 17 vegetable thing right now where I've got all these 17 vegetables all blended up. And I eat some of them every day just to get some diversity in my microbiome. Can you say gut microbiome with me? Oh, now, that 17 vegetable thing, do I do it because I just like it? No, not really. I've gotten used to it, but I started doing it because I knew it was good for my gut microbiome. And apparently, I wanted my gut microbiome to feel good. But as with a lot of exercises we do with our body or things we do for our body, we are trying to support our overall health and vitality. And the laughter yoga is that too. Okay, so just from a conceptual level, if we know that we want to supply our body with a ready supply of laughter, because it makes us feel refreshed on a cellular level, because it nourishes our body so so easily without any heavy lifting, well, then we need to be able to find a supply of it. We need to know where to find the laughing. Because life just isn't that funny. Oh, and hopefully as we are talking, and I'm just pretending we're having this conversation together, you're also laughing along out loud with me. Okay, because what you're going to notice is there's nothing really funny about the story I'm telling. Not really. The more you do this, the more you become easily amused. But there is nothing really inherently funny about this story about my 17 vegetables and my gut microbiome, right? But every time that I make space and, yes, create space here for just that nice, thorough laugh to come out. And it's usually, you'll notice, like one exhale all the way through. If I'm going to bother laughing at all, I might as well laugh all the way out. Out of breath, inhale. Out of breath, inhale. um, I'm doing two things while we're doing this. I am just making the laughter. Well, first of all, I know where to find the laughter. So we're doing three things. We're just making space for the laughter to come. And then and really without hardly any stimulus at all. And then when the laughter comes, I'm letting the laughter express itself through the extent of that full breath. Okay. And so, in this way, you can see we've just begun and we're just having this little conversation, but we're getting some of these little, 30-second, 20-second chunks of laughing just in from nothing. Okay. So, as you go about your day, this is your take home homework exercise. As you go about your day, I just want you to think about incorporating it laughter, incorporating more laughter that way, where it's like, oh, well, actually, I got a good chuckle this morning. For instance, this is the type of place where it shows up because I woke up, I slept very hard and very well. And so I got up this morning. I'm like, okay, well, what do I have today? I don't think I've got anything this morning. I think I can kind of have a slow and lazy morning this morning. I'm like, Michelle, look at your calendar before you have your coffee, make sure. And sure enough, pulled up my calendar. And yes, of course, I had laughter yoga to do with all of you beautiful people this morning. Now, when I noticed that, I gave myself opportunity to have a really good chuckle about it out loud, a chuckle out loud. Because it was kind of actually, not only did I really have nothing to do this morning, I had something kind of important to do this morning. Okay, so these are the kinds of ways that we can just start laughing out loud, just kind of naturally, and making room for more laughing out loud naturally in your day to day life. And this is really what I just want from all of you, because for all of you, not from all of you, for all of you, because when we can learn to do that, know where to find our laughter, give it room and spaciousness to be expressed, and then really, if we're going to bother laughing out loud at all, give it that full on, rounded gorgeous expression, then we are really on to something. Okay. We need to start doing some laughter is what we need to do, even though I'm feeling pretty good because I've been laughing while I've been telling you this, and hopefully you've been laughing along with me. All right. So this morning we've been talking about breath, and we've been talking about just our general philosophy of making more laughter available, and just present and finding opportunities for it. What you're going to find is that when you practice this, it's just going to naturally show up. And it's not going to require so much. Your laughter is going to require less and less and less in order to just show up in your life. Okay. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about it, because what you're going to realize is that laughter is so refreshing and has such a rejuvenating effect. It has been there all along. Ta-da! Everybody, ta-da! Ta-da with a ho ho ho. Ta-da! Ta-da! And of course, the whole reason for doing it is just to feel refreshed. Okay. Now, one of the things, and I've got no control over it, is of course, I suppose you could just be listening to me talk about laughter, and this could be making you smile, which is wonderful. Thank you. But I want you laughing out loud. And maybe a smile could be a little bit considered a gateway to a laughing, but it's the laughing out loud which is really going to have the impact on your body. And that's really where we're going, is more laughing out loud for no reason. Okay. Right. Well, that was my preamble. I tell you what, I enjoy just showing up for the preamble. I the more I've got to tell you about laughter, the more I've got to tell you about laughter. That is for sure. And so, anyway, I'm glad for everybody who is with us right now. Okay, so Where are we going with this? Okay. Now, because we're really at home alone, or maybe you are at home with other people, I am home alone. And if you're at home with other people, I am jealous of you because it's been a little quiet here. Okay. So I've got a table right here, but right here, I've got a table. Oh, can you hear it? You might have knees right here in front of you, or maybe something else to pat. But we're going to do our ho, ho, ha, ha, ha warm up. And then we're going to just pat, 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 and a ha, 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 ha. Okay, as our kind of one of our warm ups this morning. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. 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 Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, 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 ha, ha, ha. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. 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 One of the nice things about kind of taking a little subtle approach to the laughter yoga is when a giggle comes, it is just so easy to let a giggle come. And when we are with people that we don't know and we're in a public place and whatever, it seems like it can be harder to just giggle. Like we really have to be super silly in order to like giggle with abandon in public. But when I'm home alone, I hope it's the same for you too. When I'm home alone, it is just so easy to just giggle. Oh, okay. Now I know if you've been with me a few weeks, this might feel kind of boring, but I feel like we just need to kind of go through. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick one where we're going to go up through the different octaves of the laughing, starting with our ho ho, ho ho, ha ha, hey hey, hee 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 hee. Okay, but if you've been playing along at home, we've got our ho ho, ho ho, ha ha, hey hey, hee hee hee. Those are kind of the major ones. And we're just going to go through them all now, kind of one to another. I'd like to think of you kind of scooping it up, and maybe we're going to scoop, and then I can't scoop as well this way. Scoop. I might need to just scooch over so I can scoop. Okay, so we're going to scoop, and we're going to scoop, and as we do it, we're going to go. That was a little bit of rush. Not like a head rush, but like rush. Like we went too fast. Oh my gosh, I have got a full-on giggles going on this morning. Okay, let's do that a few more times and see if we can find the right cadence for it. If it feels good to slow down or speed up, that's okay with me. The idea of it is that we're moving up, 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 and then I liked that. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to scoop back just a little bit. Then I scoop to the forward. Okay. Together. Oh. Now, ho ho, ha ha ha, ho ho, ha ha ha, ho ho, ha ha ha, ho ho, ha ha ha. Love it. Now, we're going to just practice this just a little bit more while, because I want you to think about this. And I want you to practice it because when we do the laughter exercises, we can just do a laugh. We can just do a ha 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 ha. Okay, that's fine. That's great. Even though that's a laughter exercise, that is kind of like doing some barbell, bicep curls. It's getting the job done, right? Or we can kind of switch the cadence a little bit so that we sound to our ear tickled, okay? And I want you to practice that one. And that one just goes mostly it just faster versus since they're both activating the same cadence from the diaphragm, the benefits to the body are the same, but you can tell that they sound slightly different to your mind, okay? So we're going to do this a little bit more, a few more times, and I want you to see, and I'm going to see if I can too, if I can fall into that more rapid sequence cadence of that laugh that really sounds like to my ear, like something has really tickled me. Okay, this is something to practice, and you really can. Nothing. Sometimes you'll hear me do it, and nothing really has tickled me. So I know how to make it sound that way to my ear. Then of course the whole thing becomes more contagious. Okay, let's just do one with the standard laughter yoga cadence. Okay, I like this scooping. So nice. Now we're going to do one where we kind of speed up the cadence to make it have that tickled kind of amused kind of sound. Now, good. Can you tell the difference? Okay, now we're gonna go back and forth between the two here and kind of do them in rapid succession and see if it's easier to get us into that tickled kind of cadence of the laughing. First, we're gonna start with just the standard. Now the tickled one. Nice. A standard one. And now the tickled one. One more time. One more time, standard. And then tickled. Nice. Ho ho ha 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 ho ho ha ha ha. Very, very good. Very, very good. That's the kind of thing you need a drink afterwards for sure. Now, when we do laughter yoga together in person, you know that one of my favorite exercises is just simply practicing laughing as if something funny has been said. And out of all the laughter yoga exercises you could practice, laughing as if something funny has been said is probably the most valuable one to practice. It's like the downward facing dog of yoga is this laughing as if something funny has just been said. Okay. Now, something funny can be anything. Okay. And I mean, and nothing, at the same time. Okay. So, we could pull out a magazine and um, we could just randomly put our finger along on a page, and then hopefully it's nothing obscene that will get me banned. And then we could just um, read something out loud. So, uh, like we could read, he was ready to implant them in people. Oh no. Oh no. Implant them in people. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Very good. Very, very good. You see how this works? Okay. Okay, here we go again. New Yorker magazine. Topics. Okay. Okay, let's go over here. Let's see what we got here. I watched a video of Tom Hanks. Yeah, I did. I mean, Tom Hanks. I watched a video of Tom. Of course I did. Of course I did. It's Tom Hanks. I did. I did watch a video of Tom Oh. Deep breath. Exhale. I am full on aware there is nothing funny about that. But when you get a good when you get a good one going, you just run with it. You've just got to run with it. Okay. When you've got a good one going, you just run with it. Okay. Because the whole idea is to get a good juicy amount of laughing going. And really 5 minutes can change your whole day. My goodness, we had 5 minutes just about there. Let's do it one more time. Okay. This is just, we can play these kind of games with ourselves at any point in time. Okay. It says, when Clara joins Josie's household, she assesses the kitchen. She assessed the kitchen, all right. she had to assess. She had to assess the kitchen. she had to assess the kitchen. Did she assess the kitchen or did she assess the kitchen? Nice. Ho ho ha 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 ho ho ha 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 ho ho ha ha ha. Very good. Well, that was a very kind of a short tidbit there, but we got a good couple of things here in our little half an hour of laughter yoga together. A couple just little parting thoughts before we go. One of the things you'll notice that I do when I'm trying to stretch out a laugh is that I will move the laugh around. So this is something good to know. So like I will start with a and then I'll move it to a or a Can you hear? Those were a few different laughs there. And it's probably the easiest way I have found to just laugh longer is just to move that laugh around between one of those five tones of laughter. And that's why we practice those octaves of laughter almost every time, is because a lot of people don't even know that they're there. And once you know that they're there, they can be a really good ally in your journey towards just laughing easier out loud more often. And so, even when I am now tickled out in the world, if I'm out with people or something's funny, I mean, I guess I don't even need to be with people, but if something kind of tickles me a little bit out in the world when I laugh, a lot of the times I will laugh three different tones of laughter and sometimes two or three breaths. And so really I am multiplying the amount of laughing I'm doing, even when it comes to me naturally and I'm not doing it as an exercise. Ah, yes. Okay. Also, when we play around with this a little bit more, you'll notice that depending upon how much breath you have in your lungs or what kind of laugh you start with, that oftentimes rounding something out with a he or a ho feels very, very good. The he doesn't take very much breath at all up here in our head laugh, because it's just kind of more tight. It's just kind of more tight, quiet sound. If you had to laugh really, really quiet, your he is going to be the easiest one to do because it just doesn't take as much breath. Whereas to make that ho sound is just a little bit more of a belly laugh, and it just really requires a little bit more breath to make that sound. Oh, the nuances. Okay, good people. I am Michelle Caskey, as always, your laughter coach. We have been meeting here on Thursday mornings. We did a series of 4 of these. We're going to see if people want to continue with those. I'm going on vacation here in a couple of weeks, and so we might need to take a break, whatever we decide to do. But as we finish things up here, let's just finish like we normally do. We're just going to go very good, yay, 3 times together, and then we will be done for today. Okay, everybody, very good, yay, very good, yay, very good, yay. Well, thank you for joining me this morning, or whenever you've managed to catch me. Always a pleasure to laugh together. All righty. I was going to say something wise with the parting details. I can't think of it.